to multiple sources. A list of stars seemingly partook in Diddy Combs' freak-offs parties are now facing an ultimatum to either settle out of court or face a lawsuit, even if they didn't do anything illegal. That seems like a shakedown to me, doesn't it? 3 dozen lawsuits. Let's just jump on the Diddy wagon. You know, here's the problem that I have with this. $5 million, and you're just coming forward now after 30 fucking years? Does that really make a whole lot of sense? I mean, I am all for, you know, getting justice. I'm all for, you know, doing unto Diddy what he did unto others. But, I mean, give me a break. 30 years ago?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your board-certified criminal defense lawyer. That's you, your personal board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Here with content created, curated, crafted by our content genius, Michael Rivers. Now, today we are reacting to new allegations in the Sean Puffy P. Diddler Combs case. As you know, he's got, you know, you talk about a mountain of shit he has to deal with. It is just amazing. But before we get to that, this episode is brought to you by eForms.com. eForms.com is a very effective way to get online and get a legal form that you need to accomplish a task. For example, if you sell your grandma's crotch rocket, or if you need a bill of sale. If you need, let's say your grandma goes to prison, she's going to need a bill of sale because grandma is one of the most wanted people in the Twin City area. So you get a power of attorney. If you need a power of attorney, you need a medical power of attorney, any kind of form you need, go to eForms.com, a very effective way to stay out of court or win in court and a way to avoid the high cost of a lawyer. eForms.com, a very loyal and constant supporter of CLR. Okay, so
this one is seeking $5 million for an alleged armed confrontation dating back nearly 30 years.
So one of his employees during an armed confrontation is seeking $5 million for an allegation of something that happened 30 years ago.
Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, is here with more for us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Michael. Sean Combs is now
3 dozen lawsuits. Let's just jump on the Diddy wagon. You know, here's the problem that I have with this. $5 million, and you're just coming forward now after 30 fucking years? Does that really make a whole lot of sense? I mean, I am all for, you know, getting justice. I'm all for, you know, doing unto Diddy what he did unto others. But, I mean, give me a break. 30 years ago? And what's happened in those 30 years? Have you just been sitting there? I mean, what's worth $5 million?
This morning, a man is suing Sean Diddy Combs for $5 million to compensate him for what he alleges was an armed confrontation. DeWitt Gilmore says he was leaving a New York City club in 1996 when Combs and his associates pulled up in a gold convertible and started taunting him with derogatory language and threats of violence. His lawsuit says the music mogul's associates flashed guns and shots were fired.
So why'd you wait 30 years? Why not do it right then and there? What have you been doing for the last 30 years? Have you been suffering, you know, mental anguish so much so you couldn't get a job, so you couldn't do this or that? That's one of the things that they'll look at. But you know what? It's not going to go anywhere because, first of all, I don't know how the statute of limitations don't apply to that case.
Representatives for Combs did not immediately respond, but they have denied all of the other civil lawsuits that have alleged sexual assault. A woman who filed one of those has now revealed her identity after the judge rejected her request to remain anonymous. Candace McCrary was 19 and in college in Brooklyn when she alleges Combs sexually assaulted her after a photo shoot.
This decision by this judge may have a chilling effect in that other people who want to go anonymous in their lawsuits against Sean Combs may think twice in terms of filing a lawsuit themselves.
So what? I mean, I am totally against any kind of anonymous lawsuit. I mean, give me a break. You want your day in court? You put your face out there and answer. You know, I mean, how do you answer to somebody that's anonymous?
I know this is a civil realm, but you want to talk about the Sixth Amendment and right to accuser?
Yeah. Now, if this were a criminal case, you have a Sixth Amendment right to face your accuser. I mean, in other words, you can't just have allegations by somebody else. In other words, a cop can't just say, you know, well, she told me this, this, and this. No, your accuser has to be the one that's in court, and you have the right to cross-examine your accuser. If you go to court, you should have to have your face plastered all over that lawsuit. And if that has a chilling effect, so be it. But, you know, whoever's getting sued, whether criminally or civilly, has rights. You have the right to face your accuser.
More money, more problems. It's just the way it is.
And this morning, a former member of Combs' inner circle is speaking out. Diddy's rap protege, Moses Shine Barrow, was with him and his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, the night a gun went off inside a Manhattan club. Diddy was acquitted in the case.
Didn't we hear a lot about this already? And why is he coming forward now? 30 years later. And how is the statute of limitations not invoked here?
He is the one that allegedly took the rap for the gun, Moses.
He did?
Yeah. Shine, yeah.
But Shine was convicted of assault, sentenced to 10 years in prison, and deported to his native Belize. Shine telling Nightline co-anchor Byron Pitts Combs orchestrated for him to take the fall.
Someone that was prepared to have me sit in jail for, I was facing 25 years, to totally destroy my career, destroy my life, rob me of my freedom, to be a participant in that.
But you did it. I mean, you agreed to be the fall guy, I guess, didn't you?
Of course, it doesn't surprise me that he would be accused of the atrocious things that he is, because, you know, what he did to me and my family, you know, was to me demonic.
Combs' representatives say Mr. Combs categorically denies Mr. Barrow's allegations, including any suggestion that he orchestrated Mr. Barrow to take the fall. They added he appreciates the path Mr. Barrow has pursued and wishes him continued success.
So you heard them say he's still fighting for release. A judge sets the bond conditions, you know, in other words, detention, we're going to hold you. They're not going to change it. They're just not going to change it. And it's within the sound discretion of the court to do that. And so it's really lawyers trying to appease their client, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are unsuccessful that he fires them and gets somebody else, because that is very typical of somebody who's sitting in a cage and wants to get out. But I don't understand how somebody can file a lawsuit. You know, there's certain victim statutes that, you know, for 1 year, you know, they're able to sue on sexual allegations regardless of the statute of limitations. This ain't that. It's Tony BUZBEE. He represents like over 120 people, you know, Diddy accusers, to multiple sources. A list of stars seemingly partook in Diddy Combs' freak-offs parties are now facing an ultimatum to either settle out of court or face a lawsuit, even if they didn't do anything illegal. That seems like a shakedown to me, doesn't it? Tony BUZBEE, the attorney representing more than 120 alleged victims, disclosed that he has sent out demand letters to celebrities asking them to pay up or face the consequences. You know, BUZBEE's got to be a little bit careful here, to be honest with you. BUZBEE has previously mentioned that investigations into Sean Diddy Combs' case has implicated several Hollywood big shots, but refrained from dropping names. When do you remember Michael Avenatti? He tried doing that with Nike and tried to hold them up. And guess what happened to him? He got held up himself and now is serving a very lengthy prison sentence. BUZBEE could wind up doing the same thing. This whole business of shaking people down without having something solid, you know, is despicable, and not only that, it's illegal as well. It's just extortion. It's coercion. But here's the problem that he's got. None of these civil suits are going to take place while Diddy's facing a criminal case. There's no judge that would put a civil case in front of a criminal case. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. It just ain't going to happen. So where are we at with Diddy? So he's He's had his, detention hearing. He's still trying to appeal his detention issue. That isn't going to go anywhere. So the next we have our motions hearing. And they're thinking they want an April-May trial date. But with all the data that they have, I just can't imagine that that's going to fly. Apparently there's this documentary, Inside the Freak-Offs. And, that's where he's saying, if you were at the Freak-Off, we're going to expose you. And it's all about people being sexually abused, people being drugged. And if you were just there and you did nothing to stop it, we're going to expose you. That to me, you wouldn't have a claim for bystanders. But he's saying you're just as guilty as the perpetrators. That's not true in this kind of case. And so he's saying if you were there, you're just as guilty as the people who did whatever they say they did. And that just isn't the case. Pay up or face a very public, reputationally damaging lawsuit. That's really walking a thin line. BUZBEE better be awfully careful. And if I were some of these celebrities, I would get my highest priced lawyer on it, and I'd go after BUZBEE fucking hard, and I would do a protective order or restraining order against him. So, or you come out with it yourself and say, yeah, I was at the Freak-Offs. I didn't see anything, but I was there. I was there, and and that's the biggest way to blunt somebody like BUZBEE. Just come out and out yourself, and say you were there, but you didn't do anything. Remember, Shine just said on camera that Diddy orchestrated him taking the fall, right? And this is Diddy just responded to it. Let's see. So in response to Shine's series of interviews accusing him of setting him up as a fall guy, Diddy has slammed the allegations as unequivocally false. Mr. Combs was acquitted of all charges related to the 1999 Club New York incident and has consistently maintained his innocence, a representative for the embattled rapper told TMZ. He cannot accept or condone any characterizations of his actions as demonic or malicious. It is unfortunate that Mr. Barrow has chosen to revisit these allegations, his representative added. Mr. Combs trusts that responsible journalism will weigh both the established legal outcomes and Mr. Combs' positive, long-standing support for those he has worked with. So he's obviously completely denying these allegations, and like he's denied everything else. Unless it's on video, it didn't happen, right? So we'll just keep you posted on any further updates, but expect a motions hearing, motion to dismiss. I'm sure they're going to do that. That won't go anywhere. And then they'll set a trial date. And they're looking at a trial date in May or April some of next year, and that is just not probably realistic, I don't think. So when you've got like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of lawsuits, it's got to be just daunting. And the legal bills that he's incurring have just got to be absolutely astronomical. Meanwhile, he sits in a Brooklyn federal detention facility, and he's eating, detention food, sleeping in detention beds, wearing detention clothes, and having a detention blanket right over you. So he's not having a good time, that's for sure. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. We'll keep you posted on any further P. Diddler updates. And make sure that you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, follow us on Facebook, and go to clrbrucerivers.com for your Christmas ideas and merch. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please just let my God.